In yet another attempt to resolve the border dispute in eastern Ladakh, the 8th round of Corps Commander level talks between India and China will be taking place today. The talks are expected to begin at 9:30 in the morning, with military commanders of both sides meeting at the Indian side of Chushul Moldo in eastern Ladakh. India has affirmed that the onus is on China to carry forward the process of disengagement and complete de-escalation at the friction points, particularly in the mountainous region. Till date, 7 rounds of talks have taken place. There's been no breakthrough in any of this dialogue with regards to the disengagement of troops from the friction points. With winter setting in and temperatures dropping well below zero, the tense standoff between the two armies continues. The battle for the Bengal, in fact, for the state of Bengal is heating up. The assembly elections are happening next year, and Home Minister Amit Shah, speaking to India today, lashed out at the Mamata government, saying that they are anti-development and have been blocking centre schemes in the state. Amit Shah also raked up the killings of BJP leaders in Bengal, saying the TMC has been targeting his party workers. Mamata government hit back at Amit Shah, accusing the BJP of purposely violating COVID norms in the state, and said that no flood, no COVID relief was given by the centre to Bengal. Today is Shah's second day in Bengal. He will interact with district level leaders. He'll also be holding a press conference today.
पक्षपात का आरोप आप पर लग रहा है कि आप अम्फन का पैसा बोलते हैं, भेजते नहीं हैं। केंद्र सरकार की स्कीम लागू की जाए तो पैसा दिया जाएगा।
सुनिए ना, कल मैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में अम्फान का पूरा हिसाब किताब देने वाला हूं कि किस हेड के नीचे कितना पैसा हमने भेजा है। मेरा ममता जी से चैलेंज है, बाद में वो हिसाब दे दे कि इसमें से कितना तृणमूल कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं के पास गया, कितना जमीन में उतरा है। बंगाल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपना पैर पसार रही है। तृणमूल कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ बहुत अत्याचार किए हैं, बहुत अन्याय किया है। 100 से ज्यादा कार्यकर्ता हमारे मारे गए हैं और ये 100 में से 75 से ज्यादा एफआईआर में एक भी अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ है। तो इससे ज्यादा बड़ी विफलता शासन की हो नहीं सकती। कल ही मैं एयरपोर्ट से बाहर आते ही एक परिवार से मिला। हत्या होने के बाद पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करते। पोस्टमार्टम करने के लिए हाई कोर्ट में जाना पड़ता है। हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर होने के बाद भी पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करते, कंटेम्प्ट कर लेकर हाई कोर्ट में जाना पड़ता है। अब 5 नवंबर को पोस्टमार्टम तय हुआ है। तो मैंने तो इतना लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का नीचे जाना देश भर में का मेरा दौरा होता है, कहीं नहीं देखा।
মনে রাখবেন, বাইরের লোক যখন যাতায়াত করে তখন সংখ্যাটা একটু বাড়ে। এখন যেহেতু একসাথে এত মিছিল মিটিং, হঠাৎ মিছিল মিটিং করার প্রবণতা এত বেড়ে গেছে, ইলেকশন তো অনেক দেরি, ফলে এতে পজিটিভ রেটটা বাড়ে। দিল্লি টিল্লিতে আপনারা দেখেছেন এমনিতেই বাড়ছে, মিছিল মিটিং হচ্ছে না তাতেও।
Campaigning for Bihar has officially ended. Cracks within the NDA are now out in the open, and that too perhaps at the highest level. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar made contradictory statements on NRC hours after Chief Minister Yogi proclaimed that infiltrators will be thrown out of Bihar once NDA returns.
As battle for Bihar enters its last leg, cracks are emerging within the NDA over the contentious issue of NRC, and that at highest levels. The differences came to a head with Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and BJP star campaigner and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath made contradictory statements on NRC.
मैं जानता हूं कटिहार और आसपास का क्षेत्र घुसपैठ की समस्या से त्रस्त रहता है। भारत सरकार ने इस बात को भी कहा है, अगर कोई घुसपैठिया भारत की सुरक्षा पर सेंध लगाने का कुत्सित प्रयास कर रहा है, उसे निकाल बाहर करने का कार्य भी करेंगे।
बहुत लोग कोई काम नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन समाज में कुछ विवाद पैदा करके ऐसा माहौल बनाना चाहते हैं कि उनको बिना काम का फायदा हो। किस तरह से प्रेम का, भाईचारे का और सद्भावना का माहौल पैदा किया, और सबको जोड़कर चलेंगे। प्रेम, भाईचारा और सद्भावना का माहौल पूरे बिहार में बनाए।
Nitish Kumar's statement in Kishangarh came just a couple of hours after Adityanath pledged to throw out infiltrators at a rally in Katihar. The BJP from the last few days has been trying to bolster its Hindutva vote bank, with even Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently stating that the opposition parties are against Bharat Mata chants.
कभी एक टोली कहती है कि भारत माता की जय के नारे मत लगाओ, कभी दूसरी टोली को भारत माता की जय से सिरदर्द होने लगता है। ये भारत माता के विरोधी अब एकजुट होकर बिहार के लोगों से वोट मांगने के लिए आए हैं।
On the other hand, Nitish Kumar is trying to save the little support he has in Muslim-dominated areas. The JDU has said that it will never implement the NRC in Bihar.
बिहार विधानसभा सर्वसम्मति से नीतीश कुमार जी की पहल पर प्रस्ताव पास कर चुकी है कि बिहार में एनआरसी लागू नहीं किया जाएगा, इसीलिए किसी के भी बिहार से बाहर जाने का प्रश्न ही पैदा नहीं होता।
72 घंटे बाद
The Congress was quick to attack the NDA.
एक बार फिर
Ajay Singh Bisht alias Adityanath speaks one language, catering to one constituency, and Nitish Kumar speaks one more contradictory language, catering to another constituency. Does it not represent the double speak, the divisive nature of BJP-JDU politics?
The last phase of election is taking place in the Simanchal region, which is a Muslim-dominated area, and that is why Yogi Adityanath has raised the issue of infiltrators in a bid to polarize the atmosphere in favor of the BJP. However, Nitish Kumar, who has always opposed NRC, does not want to lose out on his Muslim vote bank, and thereby he has taken a completely contrary view to the BJP. With camera person Deepak Kumar, this is Rohit Singh in Saharsa for India Today.
After 3 states, now the Delhi government has also imposed a complete ban on firecrackers ahead of Diwali. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that the decision to ban firecrackers was taken after a review of the coronavirus situation ahead of Diwali. The ban will come into effect from November 7th, that's tomorrow, till November 30th. The ban on crackers was announced ahead of an important National Green Tribunal hearing today. Earlier, you had states like Rajasthan, West Bengal and Odisha imposing a complete ban on the sale and use of firecrackers. The violators in Rajasthan and Odisha will also face action. Haryana has imposed a ban on possession and sale of imported firecrackers, while Karnataka has allowed the sale of crackers away from commercial and residential areas. And let's listen in to the Delhi Chief Minister's appeal to people not to go ahead and burst crackers on Diwali this year.
दिल्ली सरकार ने पूसा इंस्टीट्यूट के साथ मिलके दिल्ली के लोगों ने एक समाधान दिया है कि अब पराली जलाने की जरूरत नहीं है, पराली के अंदर हम केमिकल अगर डाल दें, पूसा इंस्टीट्यूट ने एक केमिकल बनाया है, अगर वो केमिकल का छिड़काव कर दें तो 20 दिन के अंदर पराली जो है वो खाद में कन्वर्ट हो जाती है। इससे अच्छी बात और क्या हो सकती है। इस बार भी हम लोग सब लोग मिलके दिवाली मनाएंगे, पटाखे नहीं जलाएंगे, किसी भी हालत में अपने को पटाखे नहीं जलाने। अगर पटाखे जलाएंगे अपने ही बच्चों की जिंदगी के साथ खेल रहे हैं हम लोग, अपने ही परिवार की जिंदगी के साथ खेल रहे हैं, अपने दिल्ली के परिवार की जिंदगी के साथ खेल रहे हैं।
Still no clarity on who the next president of the United States is. Counting is still underway in the 4 states that we've been talking about, and the wait is only getting longer on who really will occupy the White House for the next 4 years. The trends so far definitely suggest that Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden is ahead, and he could in fact win this race. Biden is just 6 votes, electoral votes away from achieving the magic number of 270 after so far winning 264 electoral votes. Republican candidate, incumbent president of the United States, Donald Trump, has managed to fetch 214 electoral votes so far. Counting in 4 crucial states holds the key to the Oval Office as the cliffhanger continues in Georgia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina and Nevada. President Trump is currently leading in Pennsylvania, North Carolina and Georgia, while Biden is leading in Nevada. Winning Nevada would ensure change of guard at the White House in favor of Biden, considering it's 6 electoral votes and Biden needs exactly 6. Trump, meanwhile, in his tweet announced his legal victory in Pennsylvania and once again reiterated his demand to stop the counting of votes, terming it as a fraud with Americans.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal the election from us. If you count the votes that came in late, we're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes came in late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong. They got it knowingly wrong.
In America, the vote is sacred. It's how people of this nation express their will. And it is the will of the voters, no one, not anything else, that chooses the President of the United States of America. So, each ballot must be counted. And that's what we're going to see going through now. And that's how it should be.
So clearly it's going to be a while till the final results of the presidential polls are out. But if present trends continue, then Joe Biden seems set for victory. In the race for the White House, the Democrat Biden is closer to the finish line than Trump. This means that there'll be a new man sitting in the world's most powerful chair. While Prime Minister Modi shared a great rapport with Donald Trump, what will a Democrat president really mean for India? We break that down in this report.
Let's take back this country, show the world who we are. May God bless you and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
White House is likely to get a new occupant. Joe Biden as president would be a mixed bag for India. Unlike Republicans, Democrats have had a softer approach on trade tariffs and deals. Possibly, India and the United States would rewrite the trading terms, which may act in India's favor.
The trade volume between India and the United States of America stood at $146 billion in the year 2019. There isn't a doubt that whoever comes to power in US would like to continue doing business with India. The Modi-Trump trade deal that was long awaited could not be worked out, but with Joe Biden in office, it seems like the negotiations could be easier and it could very well be advantage India.
Democrats also tend to take subtle stands on visa issues. Biden's victory could help India in resolving H-1B visa and green card issues prevalent due to Trump's tough stance against immigrants.
I think that there's always some good things to be done by also dialing down the pressure on immigration, which I think would happen to some extent under a Biden administration. H-1B visas are important not only for people-to-people ties, but also for the commercial relationship. They're vital for India's vibrant IT services industry, which really is the strongest supporter of a better U.S.-India relationship, I think, among any group in India.
Biden has also vowed to sign the Paris Climate Accord, which would mean developed economies take greater onus for acting against global warming.
We need a president who respects science, who understands that the damage from climate change is already here. Unless we take urgent action, it will soon be more catastrophic. Donald Trump thinks about climate change, he thinks hoax. When I think about it, I think jobs. Good paying union jobs that put Americans to work, building a stronger, more climate resilient nation.
Biden could reinitiate the Iran nuke accord, which would ease sanctions and help India take up stalled projects like Chabahar port. India, however, may face tough questions on Kashmir. The VP candidate, Kamala Harris, has been critical of the Indian government's handling of the valley.
Well, as to the first piece, it is about reminding people that they are not alone and that we are all watching. Because so often when we see human rights abuses, whether they be in this country or around the world, the abuser will convince those that they abuse that nobody cares.
The big difference between these two men is their styles. And clearly Biden is a more conventional, despite his quirks, a more conventional, predictable leader. And I think that as the U.S.-India relationship continues to deepen, I would think that there may be an advantage for India of having an interlocutor, a leader in the White House that is less mercurial, less conventional, a bit more stable.
New Delhi, meanwhile, maintains that US elections, whatever it may be, won't impact Indo-US relations adversely.
जो भी चुनकर आएगा, अमेरिका की जनता जिसको भी चुनकर लाएगी, भारत अमेरिकन सरकार के साथ अच्छे संबंध रखने का प्रयास करेगा और अमेरिका भी मानता है, मैं मानता हूं कि उन्होंने भी, चाहे डेमोक्रेटों की सरकार हो, पहले श्री ओबामा थे, बाद में श्री ट्रंप आए, चाहे रिपब्लिकन सरकार हो, सबने अच्छे रिश्ते रखे हैं.
It is a rare feat to be a friend of Trump. Prime Minister Narendra Modi achieved it. Although India and United States of America, the relationship is a continuum, foreign policy important to India as it is to the United States of America, but there might be a lot of areas and a lot of niggling issues that could be ironed out if and when Joe Biden assumes office. In New Delhi, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
Mumbai Indians have stormed into the final of this IPL with a complete decimation of Delhi Capitals, who were thrashed by 57 runs in the first qualifier. Setting a daunting 201 to get a ticket to the final, Delhi Capitals were off to the worst possible start, losing their first 3 wickets with nothing on the board. Trent Bolt and Jasprit Bumrah made it really tough for the Delhi batsmen, removing the top 4 for just 20 runs on the board. It was always an uphill task for Delhi to make a match out of it and could manage just about 143 for 8, with Bumrah picking up a 4-wicket haul. Delhi, however, will still get a shot at the final when they take on the winner of the eliminator match between Bangalore and Hyderabad. And Virat Kohli's Bangalore lock horns with Sunrisers Hyderabad in eliminator of IPL 13. The winner of this game will inch closer to the IPL trophy. The winning team will take on Delhi Capitals in qualifier 2. Virat Kohli's men have lost their last 4 ties in the league stage. Hyderabad, on the other hand, are high on confidence, having registered 3 straight wins. David Warner and Wriddhiman Saha have been exceptional with the bat, and the bowling unit too has put up some remarkable performances. Abu Dhabi will host the eliminator. The action kick-starts at 7:30 p.m.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.